Well, I just heard.
And we are back live at the Bullet Punch Boxing Hour. I hope you enjoyed that. That was Burt Randolph Sugar talking about his friend Hank Kaplan, who we did lose last Friday, a week ago tomorrow. And we have one more interview that we want to play. We do not have time for it tonight. Unfortunately, we'll be playing that next week. That is Hall of Fame trainer Angelo Dundee, the trainer of Sugar Ray Leonard, George Foreman, and of course Muhammad Ali, Carmen Basilio, all the greats.
Yeah, we got a little long-winded on the past fights.
Yeah, we took a little more time, a little more liberty with that than we possibly should.
Plus, we tried to cram a little bit more interviews in this week than what we usually do.
I'm not used to getting 4 in a week. So tonight's Golden Leaf fighter, you should know. I think it's only fitting that it be Hank Kaplan. He's a Hall of Famer from 2006, and we just lost him last week, like I said. Born in Brooklyn, New York, Kaplan's introduction to boxing came as a teenager at Camp Waukegan in upstate New York when a smaller boy bloodied his nose. A lifelong obsession with the sport and its intricacies was born. He engaged in several amateur bouts and one professional fight, which he won. With the onset of World War II, Kaplan joined the Coast Guard because one of his idols, Jack Dempsey, did the very same and joined in the South Pacific as a chemical warfare specialist. After the war, Kaplan earned a biology degree from the University of Miami and worked for 30 years at the Center for Disease Control as a quarantine officer. In the 1950s, he met Angelo and Chris Dundee at Miami's famous Fifth Street Gym and was soon serving as their public relations consultant. At the same time, Kaplan began amassing the largest private collection of boxing archives ever seen. Over the next 50 years, he would become recognized as the foremost historian in the world. In addition to his archives, Kaplan is the founder and editor of Boxing Digest magazine, editor of Boxing World, and served as a consultant to such media outlets as Sports Illustrated, London Times, Der Stern, and HBO. For over 2 decades, Kaplan was the Ring's Florida correspondent and has written and published boxing features and historical pieces for boxing journals all over the world. Authors, filmmakers, researchers, and sports writers often seek Kaplan's expertise and opinions. Kaplan served as technical director for the Marciano vs. Ali computerized fight in 1970, which offhand Marciano won. He has 254 credits in GOAT. It spells GOAT, but it stands for Greatest of All Time. The Ali Compendium and the biggest boxing book ever published. In 2002, Kaplan received the James J. Walker Award from the Boxing Writers Association of America for long and meritorious service to the sport of boxing. Formerly based in Miami, it's still based in Miami. He is in the past tense at this point, unfortunately. Kaplan worked daily preserving the legends and lore of the sweet science. He was inducted in the International Boxing Hall of Fame of Canostoga, New York, in the year 2006. Tonight's Golden Leaf fighter, you should know, Hank Kaplan.
There's a little story there about how he actually got into the Hall of Fame. Didn't he have to take? He was actually a guy that voted.
He was on the voting committee. Yeah. Tonight, one of tonight's interviews from Don Scott actually explains this. Because Don Scott actually really got involved in helping with the awareness of, guys, there's a guy on the voting committee that belongs in. But you can't be in if you're on the voting committee. So let's take him off the voting committee for a year so we can get inducted and we'll put him right back on. He was back on for last year's and now unfortunately we've lost him. So.
And you heard all the accolades, obviously he belongs in there.
Piles and piles. What we'd like to do right now is give our very first ever Bullet Punch 10 count in remembrance of Hall of Famer Hank Kaplan. Rest in peace, Hank Kaplan. All things considered, that was actually a really good show. We covered a lot of bases. There's a lot of things that we did not get to tonight. There was an article that I'm going to shred next week. That was on MaxBoxing.com. Talking about how many, the fact that it's a good thing that there's so many champions and so many godforsaken belts out there. I'm gonna read excerpts from that Max Boxing report and I'm going to personally shred it for you. So I'm going to get my paper shredder right here next to me, and we're going to rip that one a new one. Be on that website all week. Be on Boxing Today all week. Get prepared.
Sign up for that prediction league on Boxing Today and try to get some of those great prizes that we have on there.
Oh man, a Ron Lyle signed photo, I'm telling you, try and find one that you know is real. Try and find one. You're not going to find too many of them, because he's not a guy that is out there very often. He actually lives a pretty secluded life from what I understand. But anyway, that's beside the point. For Kevin Crazy Legs Patterson, Timmy the producer Patterson, Emil Sutter Putinski Kekaman, Nestor Garza Romero, I am your host, Chris Guzman, wishing you peace and punches. This has been your Bolo Punch Boxing Hour, brought to you by George Rogie Insurance. www.hssp.cc, sportsjuice.com. Special thanks to Ed Brophy, Don Scott, Angelo Dundee, and of course Bert Sugar. Save us a ringside seat.